Hey, good morning. Blessings on this Thursday morning. It's Thursday morning. Blessings to you. So let me ask you something. What does God want from you, really? What does God really want from you? And I'll even do it better. Yesterday we talked and actually lately I've been talking a little bit that have maybe prompted your mind to think of, the ways that God has been gracious to you and the way that God has been merciful to you and the way that He's looked over you and just taking care of you. And so now what do we do in return for that? How do we respond to the things that God has done for us? What does God want from me? There's a couple verses in Psalm chapter 116, verses 12 and 13. And this is what David writes. He says, "What shall I render to the Lord for all His benefits towards me?" Right? That's the question. He says, God has been great to me. He has blessed me in so many ways. So now what do I give Him back? He says, I will take up the cup of salvation, and I will call upon the name of the Lord. I will take up the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord. This idea, I think, of taking up the cup of salvation is He's just saying, I'm going to honor and I'm going to value the salvation that God has given to me. I'm going to treasure it. I'm going to let it be real in my life. I'm going to let it make a difference in my life. And I'm going to hold it as a treasure. Because when you do that, then you're going to become grateful. You're going to become thankful. You're going to begin to serve the Lord in those kind of things. He says, I'm going to actually take up the cup of salvation. Salvation isn't going to be something that I've gained and I put on a bookshelf. It's not going to be something that I've gained and I take and I put it in the top of the closet. And, when it's time to go to heaven, I'll pull it out and walk into heaven with it. Actually, it doesn't work that way anyhow. But that's the way some of us sort of treat it. David says, I'm going to take up the cup of salvation. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to carry it with me. It's going to be a part of my life. I'm going to integrate it into my life. And he says, and I will call upon the name of the Lord. You know what God wants from you? Seriously, I can make it real easy. He wants a relationship with you. It's really that simple. That's what God wants. One of the things that became really clear to me recently, you know what Jesus's favorite way to refer to God was? And I don't mean in His own relationship, but I mean even as He taught His disciples in their relationship with God. You know what His favorite way to refer to God was? Father. He said, pray to your Father. He said, go into your closet, pray to your Father. Your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. He says, when you pray, pray like this: Our Father who art in heaven. He talks about the Father. What God wants from us is to be His children. He wants us to be in that relationship with Him. It's Acts chapter 17, and I think it's in about verse 27. Paul is talking to a bunch of philosophers there in Athens, and he's talking to them about a God that they call the unknown God. And he said, let me tell you about the true God. And he's telling them about God, and he says He created every person, and He decided geographically where that person would live and historically when that person would live. In other words, every single person lives in the exact place and at the exact time that God placed them there. And the next verse says, and He did it so that men would seek Him. He put men in the time and place where they would be most apt and most likely to seek after Him and desire Him and to want to know Him. That's what God wants from you more than anything else. He just wants you to seek Him out. He wants you to be in a relationship with Him. So what do you do for all of the things that God has blessed you with and done for you? What do? Take up the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord. Psalm 116, 12 and 13. God bless you guys. Get out there in faith the rest of this day. Love you. Bye.